traffic. I'm on my way to the city to pick up Mr. Ando San himself, and I haven't seen him since NAMM last year, so I'm super excited to see Ando, and I'm super excited to interview him. This is the first time I'm ever doing something like this, so I'm super excited to try it out and find out how fucking terrible I am at it. I'm gonna grab one sip of the coffee. It's probably gonna scald my mouth. It definitely did. Alright, what is up, guys? How's everyone doing today? We are here live from Dunkin' Donuts with no one other than Ando San himself, all the way from LA.
Yeah.
We are out here. We're chilling. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm good. This is,
good?
like I said before, this is probably one of my favorite cities.
That's awesome, man.
In the U.S. So.
Yeah, no, it's when you told me you're gonna be here, I was like, we got it. I definitely, we got to do something. So.
Of course. Hell
So, what right now? What's been your jam? Like the last 2 weeks, what's something that you've been like?
Okay, so I've been listening to a lot of drum and bass.
Okay, word.
And then Anderson .Paak.
Okay.
Who else? I've been getting back into like deathcore.
Okay,
So
that's it.
I've been listening to a shit ton of Oceano as well.
Okay.
And then going back to like the death metal stuff, Job for a Cowboy.
Yeah.
So I've been bouncing back and forth from like electronic music to hip hop to the brutal stuff.
Yeah, man. Dude, that's sick though. Like, so you play 99% if not 100% instrumental music.
Yeah.
I guess just sort of what kind of led you in that direction? Was it just was it out of necessity, or was it, I'm just sitting in my room, so there's no one to track vocals on this, or?
Okay. Yeah, alright, so when I first started playing music, I was a vocalist in a death metal band.
Okay.
And basically the people in my band weren't really taking it too seriously, and
okay.
they weren't really writing stuff that I liked. So that's when I started picking up the guitar.
Okay.
So, because in the beginning I didn't play anything, and after that I started playing bass. Then what happened with the whole band thing?
Yeah.
So I started playing guitar, and through that I got kind of tired of the vocal stuff. I didn't want to deal with a vocalist.
Yeah.
And after that, I think what really led me to instrumental music was when, I was listening to a lot of hip hop at that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of beat makers, and then also Animals as Leaders.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just I don't know. I guess the instrumental genre has always been my favorite.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, not dealing with the vocals.
Damn vocals.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you play Ormsby guitars. Cheap plug. But so you play 8-string guitars, and you play them in a way that I think most people that set out to buy an 8-string guitar wouldn't play it. Obviously there's sort of two kinds of people. 8-string customers, I want to tune as low as humanly possible and be as heavy as humanly possible, and and there's the people, I think like you and Tosin and Chris and everyone else
Chris,
that they're like, I'm gonna use this as its own instrument, it's not because I think of it almost in the way that I think of bass, not that it's a lower register, but just that it's because there are guitar players that play bass, and there are bass players, there are people that play the instrument like the bass guitar, and I think that the 8-string is sort of very similar to that, to where it lends itself to what you do so well, but most people I don't think would expect that out of an instrument like that.
Yeah, I think, honestly, man, Tosin paved the way.
Dude, that's what, the only reason that there is an affordable 8-string is because of Tosin Bosky, I think.
Yeah, he paved the way, I think, and he hit the way he described it, I think it's the best way to describe it. It's kind of you just think of everything as an extension of, the 6-string.
Yeah.
Even Javier said the same thing. It's kind of just the way that I play it like a 6-string.
Yeah.
Especially since, when it's dropped.
Yeah, you get that whole huge open chord.
Yeah. So that's the way I think about it, and then also it sounds really. I think it also sounds really cool, like if you're using it in hip hop, which I don't really hear a lot of people doing.
No, definitely.
Or like neo soul dudes. Like I can't even. Oh my god, I forgot that guy's name, but this dude plays an 8-string and he does these really nice like jazzy chords with it.
Okay.
And there's also a dude named Tom Lippincott.
Okay.
He's a jazz player. He plays an 8-string, and the way he plays it is fucking insane.
That's
So
sick.
you can't even imagine those
That's awesome.
extended jazz chords with like an 8-string.
Yeah.
You know how
Well, dude, that's the way that I've always looked at it. Is like, because there's a lot of purists out there that are like, learn to play 6 strings before you play 8 strings, or learn to play 6 before you play 7. Where they're saying essentially, like learn your instrument before you're getting all these ridiculous things.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand the idea that anyone would want less options.
Yeah.
Like I don't get the idea where like people are mad that there's a production 9-string like in Guitar Center or something like that.
I guess in the beginning it could be a bit of a learning curve because I started.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I did start on the 6-string, but then I jumped to the 7-string immediately, and then I started borrowing my friend's 8-string.
Yeah.
And after that, that's when I sort of started getting used to it. But like then, once I realized that once it's drop tune, it just if you just think of it like just what I said before, you think of it like a 6-string, then everything else will come together.
Yeah, just the scales stay the same, like everything stays the same.
Yeah.
So what tuning are you playing in then for it? Because obviously you're playing, like a lot of cleaner stuff. Are you in E then if you're dropping it? Okay, so E B E A D G D E.
Yep.
Dude, I always love like when you start like speaking out like a tuning like that, and then people realize you're talking about an 8-string, and you're like, it's a lot.
Yes. And then even the 9-string stuff, dude. There's a guy named Jose Macario.
Okay.
You heard of him?
No.
Dude, he's sick. But he's a dude from Mexico, and he plays fucking 9-string. But he does a lot of thumping shit too.
Thumping, yeah.
So like, it sounds insane on it. I don't think I would play 9-string, but I think it's badass.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I used to like before I was in like a professional band or literally before the Browning, I used to like exclusively play 7 strings pretty much.
Oh shit.
Like I had a bunch of Agiles. I had like an ESP. I had the Alex Wade one, the like red Strat one, and that to this day that's the only guitar that I regret selling. Like I've bought and sold probably 100 guitars over the last like 10 years that I've been playing, and I was never like a big, like I never had like a sentimental attachment to my guitars until like the 4 that I have now, pretty much. But that Alex Wade signature is the only one that I was ever like, man, I wish I had that guitar back.
I think I bought my first guitar, like I own my first guitar because I bought my first guitar when I was like 20 years old.
Oh, okay.
So I've never really had a guitar up to that point. I was just borrowing.
Yeah, just using other people.
Man, I regret selling that one too because I got the Javier Reyes model.
Oh, really? That's sick.
Yeah, the Javier Reyes ESP
That's a
model.
sick first guitar to buy.
Yeah, dude. I busted my ass for that one. But then I sold that one after I got endorsed by Ormsby.
That's fair though. We'll take that. That's it. Did you have the? Sorry guys, it's a little loud in here. Yeah. We're under a train and in a Dunkin' Donuts. So would that the like quilted maple one that he has, or the flame maple one that he has, like the gray burst sort of one?
Yeah, it's the gray burst one. It was like one of his first signature because I know he's coming out with another one.
Dude, have you seen that Strat that he has? That 8-string ESP Strat? Yeah, that thing's insane.
I bet that shit sounds crazy too. Super bright coil.
I just watched a video yesterday on. It was a Toman video, and it was whether or not Nick Johnson could sound like himself on like a budget setup. Because it was basically like a test to see, like they were like, how much of your tone is in your fingers, Because people throw that around, obviously, but all the people throwing it around have gear that costs $10,000 or more total, So they did a video where they had Nick and his custom shop Schecter and a Mark V, and then they brought in his production model Schecter.
I need to watch that.
Through like $120 like Harley Benton amp, and he was still able to make it like very much so sound like himself.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how I got on that video. It was super sick.
What the hell?
But anyway, so you are, you release all your own music. You put out last year. You put out. It was Delete This last year. Or was that this year? That was this year technically. Yeah. Nam seems like last year. Like it definitely seems like a long time ago.
Yeah, it really does.
But so I guess I'm just sort of wondering, because you have names, you have like things that are named like Don't Bother and like Vitality, and then you also have like Delete This, and your new stuff is Schemin' Season, and it's got you in like a ski mask on the front of it. And so I'm just wondering, like, how do you come up with like, okay, this is gonna be something like Vitality, where you're like, this gets a serious, like, I don't know, artistic title, and how do you come up then with a title like, yeah.
Dude, honestly, man, I'm trying to be myself more.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I'm a goofy fucker.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm trying to, I guess, implement with the new stuff, because it's like, I love music, but it's fun for me.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's just, I love to do it, and like, I'm just trying to be that's why I like the Ando San project.
Yeah.
I can be more myself, and so.
Yeah, well, there's literally no name.
Yeah,
to uphold,
I literally have the ability to just name dumbass songs.
Yeah, or if you want to put out a techno song, you can put out a techno song.
Exactly.
If you want to put out a rap song, you can put out a rap song.
Like, I have a song on my new album that's called Boba.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah. Is it the T or is it Star Wars? Is it Boba Fett?
Boba T.
Okay,
yeah,
word.
because I love Boba.
That's sick. Oh, you're in the right place for it too. And LA is Boba Central.
Boba places everywhere. But tea houses everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Hell yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what I didn't. So I guess basically like because you were already an artist before I started working for Ormsby. Mm-hmm. So was Matt the one who brought you in, or did Perry bring you in?
Marshall Boy, dude.
Oh, really?
Dude, yeah.
That's funny.
It was
Shout out Marshall Boy.
Yeah, seriously, Marshall, thank you, dude. Because around, I don't know, I'm not gonna mention anything.
Yeah.
But
No,
Marshall sent me a message. He was just like, "Hey, dude, like, have you heard of Ormsby Guitars?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I have actually."
Yeah.
He was like, "Dude, you should try getting with them." And I was like, "For real, for real?" And I was just like, at that time, I'm not even saying that I'm like big right now, but
I know.
I wasn't I wasn't well known, dude. Like, I'm still not, but at that time I was a little guy, and basically he got me in touch with Matt.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking for a couple of months.
Matt's the best. Matt's the one that brought me on too. Yeah. So shout out to Matt.
Dude, Matt, thank you. Yeah, seriously, and he gave me a shot. So he threw me a contract and everything, and ever since then, dude, it's just been such a blessed experience.
Yeah, dude, I really love, like, obviously I'm biased because I work for the company, but I was an artist for a long time before I started working for the company, and just, like, the sense of community, like, dude, other companies don't have a chat with all the artists, just the community and everything is very, very, like, and especially with everything, like, all, you, Sarah, and Chris all being in that, like, Guitar World article.
Oh, yeah,
dude, congratulations on that. That's insane.
Thank you so much.
That's so cool.
Yeah, man. And even, like, me meeting him right now, like, that's how cool it is.
And that's like, dude, we would have never met each other if it wasn't for a random dude from Perth, Western Australia. If it weren't for Perry Ormsby, we wouldn't be sitting in a Dunkin' Donuts in Chicago.
No, seriously,
just chilling. It's a wild, wild thing, dude. I think about that all the time. Mm-hmm. Like with just the people, even Chris.
Yeah, even Chris.
Like, dude, Chris lives in South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think I would ever know anyone that lived in South Africa,
Me too. I'm really, I can't wait for NAMM. NAMM's gonna be hella fun.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's gonna be so good this year. It's gonna be so good this year.
It's gonna be sick, dude.
But yeah, so was the Goliath your first Ormsby, and then you got the Hype?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I wanted to get the Dragon Burst when they came out with the pictures. I was like, dude, I want that guitar.
Yeah.
But Perry sent me the Headless.
Okay.
And then, I was apprehensive about it, but I played it, and I was like,
yeah, my Goliath is literally, and this isn't like, just me, like, not a sponsor.
Yeah, it's not.
But dude, my Goliath literally is just like, it's the best like feeling guitar that I've ever had. Like you sit there with it, and it's just like, oh, I know what I want to do. My hands know. Like I found that touring on it.
Oh yeah,
dude. Like I don't have to look at the fretboard.
Yeah.
And that's something like I'm not an amazing guitar player by like any means, and I've always been like someone where I'm like just locked into like, okay, make sure you're playing this right, like, and with that guitar my hands are just in the right spot.
Well, also,
like, every time
you have to play really tight for your music too.
Yeah.
Like you have to be so, and that's hard, dude, to play that,
yeah, I mean,
tight
like
live.
so the biggest thing for me, one reason that I made the switch in the first place is like, so obviously we have like a lot of tracks, and not like backing tracks in the sense that like they're guitars or anything, but like just a lot of electronic, like our samples, because I always like to tell sound guys that they aren't like, they're not backing tracks, it's like another instrument, and so I have to be, if I'm the slightest bit out of tune with those, it shows.
It shows. Yeah.
So like I need a guitar that literally just sits in tune.
Dude,
and
that is true. Yeah, my guitar stays in tune. Like probably when I get back in Cali, it's been sitting in the bag. It's probably going to be in tune.
Yeah, dude. I literally, I just had my Goliath shipped back to me, and it sat on my porch for like 3 hours in like the freezing cold.
Damn.
And I literally like brought it upstairs, tuned it up, and like just set it down for a minute, and it hasn't moved. Like it hasn't budged since that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, not to go, on a big just like Ormsby circle jerk session.
Yeah.
So what do you have? What are your plans for 2020?
Well,
I know you got Scheming Season coming out.
I'm
Available for pre-order right now.
Yeah. I'm dropping Scheming Season on January 3rd, 2020.
Okay.
After that, I'm gonna be putting out like a bunch of music videos, and from there, if the album does well enough, I'm gonna be touring.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be touring. Yeah.
And so I know you've done like solo shows and you've done like appearances and stuff. Have you ever done like a tour on your own music? No?
No.
Word.
I really want to.
Yeah.
Next year has to be the year.
You're definitely going to, man. There's no way.
I really want to.
Like people are gonna want it, man. And
And that's another thing, man. Like I guess I've been waiting to do it.
Yeah.
And I want to do it the proper way.
Absolutely.
Because I have a lot of people telling me like, oh, like you can never be prepared for tour. Well, I want to try at least.
You can be more prepared than not prepared.
So I don't take. I take that as a grain of salt because I also meet people like you and Chris and everyone else, and they tell me like that I see how they're doing it. And I'm just like, that makes more sense. I think I should try doing that.
Yeah, dude. Anything. If you ever need any help, like my messages are always open.
Oh, dude.
I don't claim to be an expert in anything, but if I know anything,
well, you have a lot of experience.
That,
Like, how is touring for you though? Like,
it's really interesting because it's when I was younger, like it was all I wanted to do. Like I was like, I don't care. Like I don't care if I make money. I don't care. Blah blah blah. Like I just want to play shows and I want to be in a band, and that's what I want to do. But I never had I kept trying to make it happen, and you know how especially with music, like people are so flaky, and so just like or you can find a great group of musicians and it isn't something that they want to do permanently. They're like, I do this for fun. Like I'm fine with my job. Like I'm good on that. Yeah. And then I did my first tour in 2014, and that was that Last 10 Demolisher tour.
Yeah.
And that was, so Adam Warren from Oceano was in Demolisher at that time. We did 2 tours with them. and I did one of the tours, and that was how I met him. And then I like just, you know, it was one of those things where like we didn't talk a bunch on that tour, but I was like, this is a good person to like know.
Yeah.
And
Adam's awesome.
Dude, Adam's literally like I would not have any of my career in music if it weren't for him. I just told him at the end of it, I was like, you know, you guys ever need anything, just let me know.
Yeah.
That's all I said. And he hit me up to do Oceano in 2015, and I did. That led to me working for the Browning and joining the Browning and all of that stuff. So like, if I didn't do that Demolisher tour for free in my dad's van, you know, like I definitely wouldn't be where I am today.
Wow,
so,
dude.
But yeah, dude, it's a grind. It's definitely a grind. But I think the two things are, it's not as hard as people make it out to be, and it's also not as easy as people make it out to be. Because, you know, people think that it's a party.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is a party. But it's also, like, we put, on the last tour that we did, we put 18,000 miles on our van. And we drive ourselves.
Yeah,
so,
I've been seeing that on your, like, Instagram posts.
Yeah.
It's like, oof.
Yeah, like, we, you know, it's a grind. And for sure, like, just not having, like, the thing is, aside from the shows, you really don't have any responsibilities. So you have to complete, like if you want to work out, you got to get yourself up and work out. You don't have a home gym, you know, or anything like that. Or if you want this for lunch or this for dinner or whatever, you know, like you got to go get it.
Yeah,
like you just got to, it's just about kind of just putting your nose to the grindstone and try not to like get caught up in everything, because it's super, you know, you're in a different city every single day. Sometimes you're in different climates and stuff like that, so it's definitely hard.
I bet it's easy to get sick too.
I'm very lucky. Like I'm not on tour right now, so I'm not gonna knock on wood, but I like don't get sick super easy. Because that last tour that we did was 60 days long, and I'm the only one that that didn't you know catch the plague. But they call in Europe, like the bus that like Chris and them are on now, like the Nightliners. So it's like the whole tour package is on that bus.
Oh shit!
And so those, when one person gets sick, it just spreads like the plague, man. But
are you gonna be driving a lot on the next tour you're doing?
We'll be doing just as much driving, because that's the thing is like we probably could afford to rent like a bandwagon or something, or maybe we could afford a driver, but for the amount that we would pay them, I'd rather just make that money at the end.
You have a lot of experience with that because you've been driving before, huh?
Yeah, well, so I've never like driven for. I mean, I do drive on tour, like when I work for Cane Hill and stuff. Like I help drive, but I've never been like a driver where that's my sole responsibility. But I do merch and lights and. So when I work for bands.
How do you work the lights, dude? Like, tell me about that.
It's sick, man. Honestly, lights is like one of it's really fun, and it lends itself like very well to music. And I think a lot of people don't fully realize how much that can like add to your show and add to your. But really, all it is it's just so there's however many number of fixtures, right? Like however many number of lights that you have, and that's assigned somewhere on a computer, and you have a board, and you essentially assign, you know, the way you would assign MIDI.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's MIDI mapping, huh?
So basically,
right,
to
like
where you're hitting a button, that's sending a signal to say, hey, send power to this light, you know. But it's been something. The Browning singer actually, like the first tour that I ever did with them, he was like, I think it's time you started like doing the lights, because even someone who's bad at it, like I definitely was. The first time that I ever did it for them, they like used to open with this big breakdown, and I came into it like 30 seconds late because I didn't know how to turn the blackout off. So they played like a whole 30-second breakdown just in the dark.
I guess that could be pretty brutal.
But he was like, I think it's time to start doing lights, because even someone who kind of knows how to do it and knows the music is it's gonna add so much.
Yeah, especially for your music.
Yeah, dude. Like with all the techno, because
yeah.
we put about probably like $3,000 into lights before our headliner, and that's not a lot for a light setup.
Nah,
like, you can pay a lot of money.
You can pay a lot, yeah.
And we like built it all ourselves. Our singer programmed it, like so it's completely MIDI mapped to our music. And we saw firsthand on this tour that like it adds so much to your performance.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's something
Even
I really want.
Just like one light bar, you can get them from Guitar Center. They cost $100. So like you could do one light bar on a thing behind you, or two on stands behind you, and literally, even with your music, just have them on like a slow wave or something, and the whole set would look like. You'd look super pro.
And also, especially like for you just got a new computer, so you have access to a lot more shit. Dude.
Yeah, well now I have, dude. Like even being able to edit video, because before I was editing videos on my phone, like in iMovie on my phone, and there's like I didn't know how to color code or like do any of that stuff, and so now like having a Mac and being like, oh, like if I want to edit a clip, I don't have to like. Squeeze with my thumbs, but it was something where I was like, I need to take this step and like sort of come into myself in music and content and whatever. So.
Yes, that's what's up. I'm done with mine, bro.
I haven't even this is still super hot. Like, but I'm a sipper, so. But yeah, man, it's just, it's good to hang out and have you out here. And
seriously. Yeah, hopefully next time I come out here, I'll probably be touring.
Yeah, dude, I'll absolutely come through. And,
yes, please.
Trying to think if there's anything else to talk, because I feel like there is. Like, I feel like there's things that...
Probably is a lot. Let me see.
I guess what sort of piqued your interest in, I know you said, like that you were a vocalist and then you picked up bass and then you picked up guitar, but what sort of made you want to be in a band? What made you want to be the vocalist for a deathcore band,
Well, at that time, I feel like it was more or less the aggression.
Okay.
Because I was dealing with a lot of depression when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more of like an outlet for me.
No, I was the same way. That's why I found heavy music, because I was like, dang, this guy's so mad about something.
I remember when I heard, I remember when I was like, I want to do vocals. I was listening to Sounds of Perseverance by Death.
Oh, okay.
That album. And I remember I was hearing Chuck Skolter's vocals. I was like, dude, that's sick as fuck. I want to try that.
Yeah.
So that's when I started mimicking his vocals, and I think around that time, I was kind of a wild kid too.
Yeah.
So I guess it just I think that's what made me want to do vocals, because I just be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, no one really knows that I've done that before, but yeah, that was a big part of my life for a long time.
Yeah, dude. That's the same thing. I played because people think it's funny now because I play in a not as heavy band, but yeah, I used to play super stupid deathcore songs and
dude.
Playing it like you said, places like the Cobalt Cafe and playing in bowling alleys and stuff, dude.
Yeah, man. My background is heavy music.
Yeah.
Man. I fucking love. Even though I'm making this music now, that's kind of meshing the two genres, hip hop and metal. But I still love heavy ass music.
Oh, I'm the same way, dude. Yeah. And even if I don't if I don't delve into an album the way that I used to, I can still, listen to a super, for example, the new Viljarta.
Oh, I need to listen to that.
Dude, am I gonna bump that all of the time? Yeah. Probably not. But it's a banger. It's just heavy, and that's what you need from it. That's what it's like. Yeah, you gotta check it out.
Yes, I need
certified band.
Damn, I'm stoked that they're coming out with new music too.
Yeah, they were away for a while.
And then Reflections is making a comeback.
Yeah, I saw they
Very
posted a new song too. I haven't heard that yet. It's
Haven't-
wild, dude. It's a good time to make music.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's coming back. Everyone's trying to make a little comeback, man.
Well, dude, and the thing that I've noticed, even through our own touring and like just, because I run my Instagram page, the Ormsby page, and the Browning page.
Yeah.
And so like just through the interactions that I get, like the metal world and the guitar world are like bigger again than they have been since we were super young, you know?
Yeah. And also, I'm like, especially now, I think they're becoming a lot more open-minded.
Yeah, well, and you can make a record literally in your bedroom.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't need to have a label or go to a studio necessarily anymore. Like, so I think that opens up the door sort of for a lot of talent. You know, because now that anyone with a laptop can put out an album, you're both going to get a lot of terrible music because people that shouldn't be making music are, which
I was
is
about
fine.
to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also getting all this amazing music that you might not have seen published otherwise.
I also think it's cool that people are trying, which is something I always try to tell people. Just try and see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then, you know.
At least you tried.
At least you tried.
That's what I'm doing with this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, like at the end of it, if it doesn't work out and I don't get to where I want to be, I don't want to sit there and be like, I could have done this. I want to know.
You want to know that
I did everything that I
could to make it happen. Yep.
But like way more people at metal shows than there has been since I started touring, for sure, in 2014. Like 2015 and 2016 were pretty bad. Like tour wise, like, you know, like a lot of people didn't come to shows.
Killing it. Yeah, your tour looked crazy.
Oh, that one was sick. The Attila Eskimo Cowboy, that was crazy.
Dude, see, that's funny because you went on tour with them, and I was telling you about my friend that's a fan of your band.
Yeah.
He's a fan of Eskimo Cowboy.
Dude, that's how you know that. Because the thing is like, they've toured here once, and they just, you know, it's just not America's thing, I think. But dude, you go to Germany, and it's massive. Like, we played a 3,000 cap room on that tour in their hometown.
That's amazing.
And, you know, that's nothing to do with us. Like, we were just showing up and playing to their fans. But, dude, like, yeah, they're wild. And they have this huge production, like this huge LED wall and stuff. And it's so funny because no one in the U.S. knows who they are.
Yeah.
Like, we always say, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all good.
We always, like, whenever we're in the U.S. and we see someone with, like, Eskimo merch, we're like, oh my god! Like,
yeah, and see, I feel like I'm in a weird area right now, dude, because my music is, like, in a gray area in terms of, like, sound, or, like, in genre, I guess.
Yeah.
I like to call it prog hop.
yeah.
But,
No, that's it.
yeah, but I don't know, I feel like there's some room for me to fit in, so that's kind of like, that's the reason why I'm trying to pave my way.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And
Yeah.
it might take longer to catch on that way, but you're going to have your own fan base.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that we've learned is, like, because we've always complained about, you know, because some hot new band will come out and they put out a song and they blow up and they're drawing 1,000 kids out of nowhere, you know, and it's like, man, this band is getting all these opportunities and they haven't even been around, blah blah blah. But the people who gain their fans quickly usually also lose their fans quickly.
Yeah.
And so we sorry again. I'm
No,
interrupting.
it's okay.
We've seen, like, over the years, just that, like, building a very organic, gradual fan base has worked out for us so well because those people have just been coming back, and then more people have been coming back, and it just, like, it really helps to do something unique and to do something, because, you know, or you look at bands like A Day to Remember and stuff like that, and they talk about, like, when they first started, like, combining, you know, like, metalcore and, like, pop punk, people hated it. Like, no one wanted us on their shows, no one wanted us to come around, but look at them now, you know, like,
they're killing it.
yeah, they're, again, dude, like, if you'd have told me when Homesick came out, that A Day to Remember was going to be one of the, the biggest rock bands around, I would be like, I don't know about that, but it's crazy, dude. Like, I just think it's nuts that, like, bands like Bring Me the Horizon, man, they're like big in the sense that they're not metal big, they're like big, you know? And that blows my mind, like, just what, I don't know, what it's capable of and what people are interested in listening to and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think the slow grind is the best grind.
Dude.
And that's what I've been learning with my stuff, because it's very, my shit's really niche. So, like, the people that I am, like, getting to listen to my stuff, they're gonna be like,
they're into it.
They're into it. So, yeah, man, take your time on something that's like kind of new. And then also, it's like when you create something new, you're gonna have some people aren't gonna understand it.
Yeah.
Just like what you were saying before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like it's gonna take some time for people to pick it up and kind of like get it, because if it's so new and like people are gonna be kind of scared to, get into something like that. And it's like they kind of want to wait and see what everyone else is gonna do. Like, oh, what do they think?
Yeah,
so.
For sure. It's definitely a tribe mentality.
Yeah.
Especially in what people don't like. Because like a lot of people talk about like fads or like, songs become popular like overnight or whatever. But I think people are a lot more expressive about like what they don't, the music that they don't like,
And I also think a big thing about that is making something that's good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people don't realize that. It's like
that just because something is unique doesn't necessarily make it good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. And that's a big part of like pretty much that's with anything, dude.
Yeah, in anywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere, yeah. That's really important.
And it's hard to distinguish those things, like what is good and unique and what is unique and bad.
Yeah.
And it's all, especially in art, like everything's subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, and I've just learned that like always just building up what you do like means so much more, because like the thing is, the people that like it usually aren't very vocal about it. So you get the people in the YouTube comments that are very vocal about how they don't like it, and then,
which is why I try to tell people to kind of like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's just like you gotta take it with a grain of salt, because the people that are watching it and do enjoy it and don't like it, don't comment, you're never gonna hear from them, but they might be jamming it every day sitting in their room, But the person who listened to 30 seconds of it and whatever doesn't like you because for whatever reason he's already commented, and that's already out of his mind and gone,
And see, that's another thing with the whole social media stuff, because it could drive people to switch up their opinions so fast.
Oh yeah.
It's like you can't even develop your own opinion because you'll have like 10 or even 100 people disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
So like that's why.
Or you can't, if you can't say it, like.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, exactly. So you gotta kind of learn how to like kind of just filter it out and shit, man, because that's what I've been doing. Like,
I just try not
even
to.
like just looking at the comment section and seeing all this, I'm just like, dude, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. No, I'm always like, who takes the time to like do that?
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to voice your opinion about something you don't like, but I feel like there's a productive way of doing it.
And there's offering constructive criticism, and there's being like, I don't like this, and this is why, and this is what I think could be done better, and then there's this sucks.
It's so weird because it goes so many ways, because the artists also have to be able to take criticism.
Yeah.
And also, what if
artists are pretty bad.
But what if the critic doesn't even know what the fuck?
What they're talking about. Yeah.
So it's kind of like
it's all a filter.
And the way I only take criticism from people that are doing what I'm doing and that are on my level.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna take criticism from some dude in the office that's not even a musician and doesn't even play.
Yeah, well that's the biggest thing I've found about like running like the Ormsby socials is like I'll post something of like you or Chris or Simon like playing or something, and like someone will comment on it and be like, this is lame, or like this shit sounds like something else, or blah blah blah, and then you click on their profile and they have 13 followers, and none of the posts are even about like guitar. And I was like, if you're not willing to put yourself out there, like, who are you to be like, this sucks? You know, like,
yeah. It's weird, man.
It's really weird running like a guitar pages, like, because luckily with Perry, I get, you know, it's not Fender, so I'm not like, I can be kind of sassy sometimes if I want to, which I really love doing. And he has a worse filter than I do, so
dude.
I don't have to worry about like making him mad with something that I say. But I just like being like,
at the end of the day,
snarky.
At the end of the day, we all gotta be nice to each other.
Oh, dude, absolutely, absolutely, dude.
Yeah, like there's no reason to be a dick.
Yeah,
like,
no, and like the biggest thing for me is I'm always about like unless it's just outright
cruel
it sucks,
and,
like blah blah blah. Like I'm always trying to like, especially with Ormsby, solve people's problems because I want them to come away from it and be like, oh wow, the customer service there is great. You know, like I can send them a message and get a message back like instantly, blah blah blah. And so that I'm always trying. So if people want something that we don't have, I'm trying to tell them when they can get it, and you know, just all of that stuff. But sometimes you just gotta like throw a little like
like show them like, hey, I'm human too, dude. You need to chill. Like
there was something like it was something about the headstock being ugly. Like they didn't like the Harpoon headstock or something, and they were like, oh, this like headstock is so ugly, and I was like, we're not a huge fan of your headstock either, but you don't see us complaining. Like, just stuff like that, you know. Like I like to just be funny, and or I got like that guy in the group that like really didn't like it whenever I posted for some reason.
I didn't see
that.
You
didn't see that?
Oh.
So like when I got the V, I started posting, you know, with the V a bunch because it's a sick guitar.
Yeah, it's a sick ass guitar. Yeah.
And he was like, oh great, like another video of like you in this pink guitar, and then everything that I would post, he would comment on it and be like, oh, you know, like I don't want to see this, like more of this, great. And then one time he commented on it, like someone said something back, and then Perry just like removed him from the group. So I guess it wasn't the first time that he caused problems, but yeah, it's just interesting, man. But you're absolutely right, like it costs $0 to be nice to anyone at any time, you know. And when everybody is going through stuff.
Yeah, and also the thing people need to work on, like if you don't like anything, walk away from it.
Yeah.
Ignore it. Why put energy into it?
And put energy into you're putting future energy into it because you have to go argue with that person now.
Exactly.
Like,
You're gonna have. It's
you got your whole day in that game.
Yeah, dude. Like, what if you see that person one day? Especially, it's like, you know, man. That's why I'm really trying to just keep it cool to everyone. You know.
Yeah, dude.
There's no reason. We should all, especially us musicians, we should all kind of be cool.
Dude, we all need to look out for each other because the only people that get what we're going through is other artists. You know, like. Or, like, you know, I can't talk to my dad about why touring sucks because he's not going to get it, you know, because he's never lived in a van for 60 days. Like, so, yeah, just finding, like, even with guitar brands, like, I did a big post because Perry and Ola hung out at Music China.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, like, they took a picture together, and, you know, I posted it, and I was like, because Solar and Kiesel are probably like our most direct competition in the guitar market, you know, like building high end but not overly high end, like expensive, you know, nice modern instruments.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that, you know, Perry can't jump on a phone call with Jeff, or that like them and Ola can't chill, like, or that someone can't buy an Ormsby and a Solar, or an Ormsby and a Kiesel, you know?
Yeah,
because it worked when small companies and small artists and stuff like that get supported. It's good for all of us. Like it's good for the whole environment. So that's why I'm always like, because I think people really like making guitar competition, like even between brands, and even Fender, Gibson, and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, like it's all just wood and He's like, did he just back into that pole? we just watched a truck driver back into a pole. But like, there's no, we're not like out here like, how are we gonna get back at Kiesel? Like this whole thing, like. So fans like to make that sort of like
Beavers
drama.
Are sick, by the way.
Dude, they make great guitars, man.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, it's just something where it doesn't have to be a competition. Like every band in your scene, like if you make friends with them, with your fellow musicians and stuff like that, it's with like things like this where we can collaborate, or anyone can collaborate because now we're so lucky to have access to the entire world. Yeah, absolutely. As a community, guitar, heavy music especially, like, we're already, like, to all these people, walking by us right now, like, we're already this weird outcasted thing, even with how much more mainstream it is now, but, like, so we have to, dividing ourselves up further does, nothing.
Yep, I agree, man. And the metal community is super tight thing, and I found like what you were saying before, like how people are like becoming a lot more open-minded and whatnot. Like I'm even like I want to like with the Ando San project, I'm even looking towards like the future, like touring with like a metal band.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
band,
Or you look like what like Naveen Coperweiss did. Like he toured with Animals as like Naveen K, and he did like his guitar stuff and like the electronic drum kit. And people love that now.
Yeah.
Have you heard of like Author and Punisher?
No.
So this is one definitely that you need to check out. He's one guy, and he like built this instrument. It's a like bunch of different instruments.
Is that the fucking guy that has a robot band?
Yeah, well, not like the like robot band.
It's like industrial metal, right?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about
he
now.
invented a bunch of MIDI controllers, basically. Not MIDI, but like a bunch of essentially MIDI controllers. I don't know the right word for it. Yeah, and so he isn't bound by a time signature or anything like that because he is doing everything. And he has like this super sick microphone setup that has 8 mics in it, and he has like different effects like running through all 8 mics, and he's just like, what a world we live in, like that. Or even I've been very into like Ghostmane, and he's just like this sick combination between like bad industrial and like crazy trap hip hop. And just like goth rock, and I was just like, man, I can't believe that you can combine those two things and have it be like, he's huge. He's a huge thing. Like, it's not just this tiny place anymore. He's at Lollapalooza in Chicago. Like, Lady Gaga does Lollapalooza.
Does.
It's a very good time to be an artist, I think, and to be a guitar player and to just be alive,
Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's basically reinventing itself, essentially, So that's badass.
Yeah, dude, it's just...
You gotta blow my nose.
Oh, you're all good, dude. I mean, we're coming up on an hour anyway, so after you're done, like, I'll just do like a little outro and... Yeah. Yeah, thank you. All right, word. So we just talked for an hour in this Dunkin' Donuts. I know you're busy being here for a seminar, is it? Yeah, you said.
Yeah, I did I went to this conference that Starcom was hosting, and I was kind of just went to talk about like my background.
Yeah.
And basically like my music.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anytime you're in Chicago, like I'm always just a trip away. So feel free to hit me up, and I'd love to when you have more time. Like we can go to like Chicago Music Exchange or something.
Dude,
have you ever been there?
I wanted to go to that. Man, where is that at?
It's it's on the north side. It's probably like 15 minutes from here, or 20 minutes.
What guitars do they have there?
They have a lot of, I mean, they have everything. They don't have a lot of metal stuff. It's definitely more of like a vintage store, but dude, like there's this company where the guy like hand makes all his guitars.
What time is it?
It is.
Hey guys, this is Brian from the future. Just wanted to like interject really quick. I checked the time on my phone and that ended the recording that I was doing with Ando, so there's just a little skip here and then we do a sign out. So sorry about that.
But yeah, it's just like, it's a cool place. So what do you have planned for the rest of your weekend? Or when do you fly out?
Sunday.
Sunday, okay.
I'm here today and
Today, tomorrow, okay.
Yeah. So probably, honestly, dude, just chilling, man.
Well, yeah, dude. If you have time to go tomorrow, man, definitely make it over there because it's a cool shop.
Yes.
But yeah, we basically sat here for an hour in a Dunkin' Donuts and just talked about music and guitars and stuff like that. So I want to thank Ando so much for coming out and talking to me, and I'm gonna see you very soon.
Yep.
Like at
next
NAMM.
month.
Yeah, literally in like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. But Ando's new album, Scheme and Season, is available for pre-order right now,
Yes,
and you
please.
can find him on all the socials.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook.
It's all at Ando San,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Instagram is Ando__San.
Okay.
And then just Facebook Ando San.
Yeah, yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah.
And you can find him wherever music is sold. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
And be on the lookout because this is definitely not someone that you want to miss out on, for sure.
Yeah.
Peace out, guys. Thank you so much.